Welcome. This is the first video in a three-part series focusing on building organisational evaluative capacity and practice. Before I dive into discussing capacity building, I'd like to give you a bit of a sense of who I am and why you might want to hear from me today. My name is Georgina Roberts and I'm a Senior Manager at Grosvenor Performance Group. I've been specialising in evaluation for about 10 years now, primarily working with the public sector to design and deliver evaluation. Now, in my time working in evaluation, I've had my fair share of projects, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I've seen the full range of client and stakeholder interest levels in evaluation, from those who are passionate and amazingly engaged, wanting to learn everything they can and apply the discipline throughout their organisation, to those who unfortunately still view evaluation as a compliance exercise. As I'm sure many of you will have experienced, these attitudes can apply to both individuals and organisations. Now, while we've been working in the design and delivery of evaluation, we've been increasingly seeing the need or even been actively approached by clients with a focus on building evaluative capacity and practice. And this is coming both from the perspective of organisational-wide capacity or creating something much narrower or specific to a particular team or even particular individuals. My experience has given me a lot of time to reflect on organisational evaluative capacity and practice. What is it? Why is it important? And why isn't it always happening? Which brings us to the key question of today. How can we build organisational evaluative practice and capacity? So over this three-part series, I'll be taking you on a journey through what is organisational capacity and why is it important? That's today's session. Why build practice and capacity? The importance of building a customised capacity building plan and what this may need to encompass, leveraging checklists that are available in the literature and Grosvenor's own evaluation maturity model. And then the final video will cover how you can utilise capability building and capability mapping to increase your organisational capacity and practice. Now, before we even begin to start thinking about building organisational evaluative capacity, it's important that you take a step back and think about what this actually means and why it is something that you want to develop. There is no one answer to this question. As with building our own personal skills and capacity, what you are seeking to achieve at an organisational level and why it's actually important will differ for every single person watching this video and every single organisation that you work for. So let's get into what actually is organisational evaluative capacity and practice. If you look into the literature, you'll see quite a few definitions around what this may mean. I don't want to get buried in the theory today, but I have included a couple of examples on screen to get you thinking. So to the left of the screen, you'll see two definitions of evaluative capacity. The first, by Volkov and King, highlights this as incorporating evaluation routinely into the life of an organisation. The second, by Taylor, Powell and Boyd, talks to the goal of capacity building as strengthening an organisation's capacity to apply evaluation and use evaluative knowledge and skills, cultivating organisational learning and improvement, and finally, creating awareness of evaluation as a learning strategy. So when I reflect on these definitions in the organisational context, what really stands out to me is that this is all shaping the organisation, the way it is thinking and the way that the organisation works to bring evaluation to the forefront or better apply this discipline. So to this end, I've also included John Main's definition of evaluative culture on the right of the screen. This talks to organisations seeking out information about a performance so that they can learn and improve how programs and services are managed and delivered. To this end, I see evaluation capacity building and practice as focusing on increasing the ability of the organisation to undertake evaluations and utilise their results. So this is where I'd like to get you thinking. As the first stage of creating your own evaluation capacity building plan, I've put 3 questions up on the screen that I think are very important for you to consider. These are the questions that will start to shape your thinking in terms of how to develop a tailored plan to build capacity and practice that is specific to the needs of your organisation. So what I'd like you to do at the end of this video is take a few minutes to start thinking through these questions. What does organisational evaluative capacity building and practice mean to you? What benefits are you hoping to realise by building organisational evaluative capacity and practice? And finally, what are the key barriers to building organisational practice within your organisation? Now, if you were to do this and have a chat to your colleagues or others that you work with, you'd start to get a sense of the very personal nature of capacity building and practice. I would anticipate that everyone that works through these questions would have slightly or significantly different benefits in mind that they're chasing, or you'd be facing challenges that might be similar but would be unique to your organisation. While it's those similarities that mean we can often apply similar techniques to build capacity, the differences mean that you need to have a customised and tailored approach that meets the needs of your organisation, helps you to realise the benefits that you're specifically seeking, and overcomes your individual barriers. So, what I'd like you to do following this video, take some time to work through these questions. It might help to have a chat to some of your colleagues or others in your area, but really start to hone in on understanding why you want to build this evaluative capacity so that you can start to develop your own individual plan. Now, that concludes the video for today, but as part of the next session, what I will be focusing on is actually some of the strategies and approaches that you can apply to develop your customised capacity building plan once you have a clear sense of why it is that you're hoping to achieve this, what benefits you're seeking, what it means to you, and some of those barriers that you'll need to overcome.